The D-Cerno AE system uses an embedded web server to adjust settings under the Technician tab for this platform. Before I get into that, I do want to note our default IP address out of the box is going to be 192.168.0.20, but please do check with your organization as they may have changed these IP addresses. Once you're here, using any browser, just click on the Technician tab. I want to highlight some of the more critical areas for getting quickly set up and running your meeting. We'll have other videos that will go into full detail of the Confero platform. So first off, I'm just going to quickly showcase that here on your homepage, you get to see what all the current settings are. So you can verify if that's what you're looking for. If you need to make any adjustments, you can come here to these different tabs. Devices, just verifying everything that you have connected up physically is registering and online. You can check firmware and so forth, making sure everybody's compatible. But really what you're going to be looking at most often is going to be your microphone mode, how many open mics, and what color are the LEDs for the stems. Now, direct speak is the most common. This is for push-to-talk conference microphones. This is the normal way of doing things. So you push the button, you activate your mic, you push it again, it deactivates. Override, so are you using first in, first out? Here you can see that I've got a maximum of 3 open microphones. What happens when the fourth wants to speak? Here it overrides, so the first microphone goes off, the fourth microphone activates, so on and so forth. If I turn that off, you get to the first 3 open, the fourth cannot activate. It has to wait until someone turns off their microphone. Do you want people to turn off their own microphone? Yes, usually, but if not, you can turn that off. Do you want this to be a toggle or do you want to be a push to hold? If your event does want request, you can change the mode here. And then it does require someone to approve those requests. You can do so on this technician page. I'll show you that later. Or you can have an operator role that can see that request to speak list and approve or deny at the chair's request. Group and operator, I'm not going to get into in this video. I did want to mention hands-free. There's a lot of excitement on hands-free in terms of not having to push a button. It's not Vox mode. We have whole webinars about hands-free. But I did want to point out that on the D-Cerno system, it's only good for up to 16, that's 1/6 delegate units. It's great in the sense that it is using gain sharing, so you can just speak, and then the microphone is already active. It's picking up your voice while suppressing other noises, and great to use. But if you go more than 16 units, 17, 18, 19, and above, the microphone won't function. The loudspeaker will function, but nothing else will. So hands-free is great for 16 and below, but often I think you're going to find yourself in direct speak. Now, the other thing I haven't mentioned here, okay, you can decide how many open microphones you want. And then here for the LED, so out of the box, it's red is active, just like the good old broadcast days. Red means you're live. But if folks want it a more modern experience where green means that your mic is active and either off, or maybe red means that your microphone is muted. So if people don't like seeing a bunch of lights everywhere, you can just have it off, and then green means go. But you can make that adjustment here. The other important area is for the audio mode. So again, normal is the default. You have all your different levels here. Probably the most important is your speaker volume. So this is where you're going to make a global adjustment to the onboard loudspeakers. Sometimes they don't want anything. So just go ahead and pull that all the way down for 0. I think the default is 6, but you can make that adjustment. You do also have your aux in and your aux outs. If you're doing USB from, say, a PC, you're connected to a PC for a hybrid meeting, you can do that here, USB-C, adjust those levels. And then we also have the USB for multi-channel recording. So if you are connecting to another PC for multi-track recording, you've got those adjustments here. Everything's at Unity. And also AES67, if you're using the audio over IP feature, perhaps into a DSP, you're getting a really advanced system, you can adjust those levels here. But really critically, you're probably just going to be speaker volume and then your aux. I'm not going to go too terribly into all the routings. Please feel free to explore. But just kind of note that we're using a mix minus. So on all of our loudspeakers, you'll see that the loudspeaker will remain active, but then it'll remove the individual's units. That does go up to 16. So if you have a much larger system, you may not use the mix minus. You might go into just removing that, just kind of having the loudspeaker mute when they talk. So just kind of play around with that. Just note how these are set. Pre-processing default is without the bass cut. You'll notice that we have a noise gate for lower amplitude and then a compressor up there near the top for any louder noises. I do like to turn the bass cut on to handle lower frequencies and get rid of those. Get rid of some hum if you've got a lot of mics and kind of loudspeakers. This is a good feature to turn on. The other ones that are in here, really just different uses of the routes. Feel free to check that out. We have a video going into a lot more detail. DSP mode is, as it sounds, you're really at the most granular level of control with routing all the signals out of our system into a DSP first, processing it, and then returning it all on these individual channels up to 8 units. So really only functioning for 8 units or less. External EQ, it's an insert. Just grabbing the signal before it even hits any of our outputs and then sending that off for processing and then return path back into our system. Hybrid meeting, I talked about being able to use a USB-C, but if you wanted to go analog, the hybrid meeting uses XLR 2 for in and out for that transmit and receive. Otherwise, you can just stay on normal. I think this is probably where you're going to be for most of your events. Role management, I'm not going to cover. This is how you can add operator or chair and what functionalities they use. And here we are at room. So all of the settings, then you want to get into actual control over the units. First thing you're going to do is change the seat IDs. You're probably pulling from an inventory, mix and match from your warehouse. You want to go around the room and just identify these in order so you know who is where. Just walk by all the units and press the microphone button to set the ID. And then here we have all the units. So I can click here. I just turned that microphone on. I can turn it off. Just left clicking to control the units. Settings, nothing really to address in this video. This is more advanced things, API controls, camera controls, different licensing that we may offer in the future, and then network settings and so forth, whether or not you're using the AES or different controls. I know that that's a very quick video, but the intention here is that you can get up and running. If you need more support, please contact us at support@televic.us, and thank you for your business.